Okay, thanks, Chris. First question, can you tell me your initial expectations of the Learnosity project?
Okay, so initially I guess I was quite nervous about the project in terms of the technology and the ease of using the technology. I thought it was a good project to have students involved in, and I expected that they would benefit a lot from it if we could get it working. But I was quite concerned about the technology and learning to use it and how difficult that would be. I expected high student involvement because students are keen to do extra work apart from the time we can offer them in class. And I expected students to struggle a bit with some of the technology and for myself to struggle a lot. And yeah, I guess high engagement and what else?
Yeah, no, that's fine. And some of the challenges that you did have?
Okay, so the technology wasn't nearly as difficult to use as I had expected. There were a couple of teething problems in learning to use the program, but generally it was very easy to use and very easy for me to use and to learn, so that was really good. There were a few hassles in terms of just internet performance, I think, as much as anything, with students and myself sort of experiencing internet dropout at times, which then meant that units had to be redone or whatever. But that was an internet service difficulty, I think, more than anything, and at times with the lines being very slow, so that, you know, that's just an internet performance thing. But generally, you know, if you were able to get on at a good time, that all worked really well.
And your reflections and feedback on the project?
Yeah, so I think we found the written feedback for students was a little bit limiting in terms of what they could learn or how easy that was to give them written feedback on pronunciation questions. But Learnosity were able to implement a verbal feedback function for us very early in the program, and that made it much better. Students were able to directly get oral feedback on their oral skills, so that was a really good change that they were able to make during the program. Student participation was very good. There were a couple of students who did drop out or under-participate, I think, because of technical difficulties that they were having at home or access to internet at home, just with the home situation. Students were very hesitant to use their mobile phone for the technology, which surprised us because I thought that would have been an easier way for them to access it. And so I don't know if that was a financial thing, even though they'd been told they would be reimbursed for those costs, whether it was a financial thing. Although working with a student on the phone, I'd have to say that even just the manipulation of the phone and entering number codes and that sort of thing, it was actually easier to do that on Skype at a keyboard than to do it on the phone. So I guess that was an interesting thing that we learned about that use. Most of the students were quite familiar with Skype as well, which made that a very easy form for them to be using, whereas I think we had assumed that the mobile phone would be the more familiar technology.
Yep.
But as it worked out, the Skype was actually easier for them to use, and that was their preferred way of working.